So the hobbies fledged over a week ago, but they're still here. Bizarre. I'm not complaining. I'm loving it. So I just got here about 10 minutes ago. We are Tuesday the 20th. And yeah, two went zooming over. I've had a couple of fly pasts. I've had one calling from near the nest, two calling from near the nest, but then I hear them fly off into the distance. You get very good at hearing the difference between one sat in a tree and one moving. Yeah. So yeah, just doing a big catch up on that time. It's about time for a catch up. I've collected some footage and some photos. So yeah, after I've got the first video it did really well, was surprisingly well for an hour and a half. A lot of people watched it. I was quite happy with that. I was expecting more of this, to be fair. I got a couple of jobs worths. A bit of a schedule one bird, you shouldn't be filming. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry, you know who you are. It was chill though. I responded to them in a nice, calm and collected way. What I think was because it's an 800mm lens, which is equivalent to about 1280, and nowadays you can crop, you can sharpen, you can interpolate, upscale. It looks like you're a hell of a lot closer to the birds than you actually are. And when I explained the distance, the everything, blah, 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 they calmed down. I mean, one of them said it on my video. I'm like, dude, I put it in the video. I explained in the video. You obviously just saw the title and, just waded in. And part of me's thinking, of course, there's some envy there, but hobby there, keep filming till it does something. Yeah, I've kind of come to the conclusion, if it's not a brilliant, absolutely perfect shot to get, then I'll ignore it. I'll just watch it fly around. Yeah, sorry, I did chase it and have a look, and I don't know where it went, but of course it's going to fly by when I'm filming. Sorry, I have to. These bugs, they fly right into your eyeball. They obviously like to die. What's that? Wood pigeon? Yeah, wood pigeons. Flew right into my eye. I've got a squashed bug in my eye now. Oh, hello. The sun's gone. Anyway, sorry, I have to keep a particular angle because obviously I can't give away where the location is. I have to be very careful because, again, if I give it away, this place could be Ramo and it will be spoiled. And, look, you've got to respect these things. When I've seen people post on Facebook, barn owls or little owls or tawny owls or other things, they don't say the location, and you don't say, oh, come on, don't be so greedy. You understand. So I found this thing. I just happened to be the one to find it. So I'm going to... What was that? It was some sort of cackle. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, so anyway, the tree, one of the trees that the juvenile likes to go and sun himself in, next to the nest. I've seen him there several times on different branches, in different positions. A lot of the time he's having a sleep. And one day I was taking some pictures and I just happened to see a butterfly flutter and land right next to him, and he looked at it, bang, 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 bang. And I got one of my best ever photographs, if I do say so myself, one that should be framed. You don't see that very often, looking right at it. And later on, it sort of got it on the branch. I was hoping, part of me was like, imagine getting it on its head like a bow. So I just got to be happy with that. But what a spectacular, yeah, great photo. That's one for the history books. And then, yeah, I was one day, one of the days I was standing and I saw a hobby land on the tree to my, well, above my head here, right at the top. It was obscured by a branch. So I thought, wait here and see it for it to emerge, wait for it to emerge. And in the distance, I saw a parent coming very high up. And obviously, I don't know this behavior. Now, in the future, I'll kind of have half a clue. What must have been happening was the juvenile was getting ready for the parent to drop some food to it. I didn't know this, like a peregrine. So it must work in the same way a peregrine does. And I had my camera ready. I got the bird coming out the tree. I had it ready. But what I just heard squawking from both birds and they came together. I realized what was happening, but I was too far zoomed in. Right, so, bloody mate. So, can we try that again? That's it. So, the hobbies. So, I was too zoomed in, and I cut the juvenile bird out, which the adult was passing the food to. And I heard the squawking from both birds, and as the adult bird flew away, you can see the photo here. It's got feathers, grey feathers, and blood in its talons. So there was definitely a food pass. So at least I know for future reference, I'll just have to file it away into muscle memory to like understand what this next coming up behavior is. Oh, great. Yeah. Wait there a second. Sorry, I swear they wait for me to start recording and then things start showing up. The first time I stopped, the calling from behind me was a juvenile being passed a dragonfly. So I managed to capture some film of that. I saw the interaction behind the tree, so I knew it was a food pass. And then I had to sort of find a gap in the tree, and some magpies were hassling, but it did manage to eat the dragonfly. So they've moved on from other birds and chicks to dragonflies. And that's the other thing. The other day when I was here, I was filming one flying, and I'm sure it was a juvenile, and I caught a mid-air catch of, not from another bird, it caught something in mid-air. And I slowed it down and looked several times, and it looks white. So I can't tell what it was. I don't know what it was, yeah. I mean, somebody might know, but it looked small, white, furry and round. It was very, very quick. And sorry, and this second time I started recording, there was a great spotted woodpecker up there, and it just gave me insane view. I had to record it. I have to take some footage of that because, you know, these great spotted woodpeckers don't give you that kind of opportunity often enough. So I videoed it like 3 times. I took 3 lots of footage. And I waited and waited. The thing didn't take off, even with a stick holding my arm on so that I wouldn't have such blood loss from my arm. It just wouldn't budge, and I got tired. So I gave up and just kept looking around because the hobbies were calling, sparrowhawks were calling. So catch up. How did I know there was more than one juvenile, at least? Well, I saw a juvenile hobby land in the sparrowhawk tree at the back, and magpies were coming in and giving it grief. And I thought, right, this is a perfect opportunity to catch the hobby taking off. And it didn't. And I thought, what about the sparrowhawks? They're not going to like it. And one showed up, and it didn't. The hobby still didn't take off. And the sparrowhawk was behind the trees, looking, you know, being vigilant, checking out what's going on. And it was more freaked out about the magpies than the hobby was. So anyway, the hobby was there, and then I saw another hobby fly over me and land in the tree to my left. I went, wait, that's a juvenile as well. Wait a minute, is it the same one? Went back, checked, he was still on there. So 2 juveniles at least. So where I thought it was the weaker, slower one to leave the nest, last juvenile that was hanging about because maybe it was a runt or something. No, at least 2 are hanging about for food, at least. I've only counted 4 maximum, so 2 adults and 2 juveniles. Still to confirm if there's 3 or if that other one's just so ahead of itself it's gone. I just got my first little bit of hobby interaction in midair, a couple of little passes. I don't know what activity that is. I mean, it's just practice, midair practice. They're not actually giving each other any food or anything. They just kind of come together really quick and then go away, come together really quick and then go away. And all this time, the only other bird of prey I've spotted was a lone buzzard was coming through. He was really high up, and I'm usually checking anything that's high up, hoping for maybe a passing red kite or marsh harrier even. And yeah, it just happened to be a buzzard. I thought the shape looked a bit strange. It was gliding because the hobbies can go that high up, and it's usually them. And I mean, even just now, there was a really high up bird. I expected a hobby, but even as a little dot in the sky, I could see there was a slight difference in its shape, and it was one of the sparrowhawks gradually coming down. I ran through the trees to see if it was coming down to the nest and couldn't see it. It's a magic how they just disappear. You move from one side of a tree to the other, or a bush or a wall, and they vanish, even though they're flying in a straight line. It's magic. So just going to be putting up loads of photos on top of that, because as well as the footage, I've taken photos for you to enjoy while I waffle on, and not just me talking. You can have the photos over the top of it. It is now about 7:15. I've got to go. Yeah, it's getting too late now. There's been a lot of harassment. That's one of the ways to look for the hobbies, is watch where magpies are going about this time of night. If they're flying somewhere, it's usually they're after the hobbies. There were a couple of interactions from a couple of the juvenile hobbies and magpies around the nest area. They like those trees. They must like the sun. So the magpie's gone over there to the sparrowhawk nest. But yeah, if I was wanting to stick around, but I'm starting to get eaten alive here, just follow the magpies and listen out for the hobbies getting harassed. So another nice little catch up. There's a lot to go into that video, a lot of different stuff as well. So it's still not getting boring. I'm enjoying it, and I'll keep coming back.